So today we're going to do some wisdom from the porch. The video today is about stop blaming.
We all have a satisfaction associated with doing something that somebody finds useful.
The blame game. It is this incessant activity that we engage in because we don't want to take responsibility. We blame others in obvious and ridiculous ways, and we do it in subtle and even more damaging ways. So let's talk about what I'm talking about. I'll give you some examples, and then let's talk about how to stop doing that. It's easy to say the words, take responsibility for yourself, right? It's not hard to say, but it's really difficult to do, especially if you've had the habit of, blaming others, other things, other circumstances, other people, life, the government, God, all that kind of stuff. So what do I mean? Well, the most obvious example is when we blame others for our current circumstances. Like, I'm broke because, and if they had only, and if this had only not happened. And that does a couple of things. One, someone may well have done something, but the act of continuing to blame practically eliminates your ability to make change, because you're saying, well, everything about this is externalized, and therefore the solutions it won't be fixed until they undo that evil or that whatever it is that they did, right? And it can be the same with health. I can't do what I want because my leg hurts, or I broke my arm, or for me, it could have been 3 weeks ago, I can't do anything because derailed my whole thing is I spent a week in the hospital, not a week, 5 days. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, 5 days. So I spent 5 days in the hospital, and that could have trashed whatever. But instead, I said, I had fabulous progress and made a ton of exciting discoveries and things in the hospital that have blasted my business forward. Okay, so how about relationships? Yeah, if they would just quit talking to me like that, if they would quit dissing me, or if they would just give me some respect, and we usually say those kind of things in anger or frustration. Nobody listens to me. And we make these statements that we swear are true. And maybe they are, but you have created them. You have created them, and you continue to create them by playing the blame game. It goes on and on and on. So we even blame ourselves in unhealthy ways. So let me give you an example. I meant to get up at 5 a.m. this morning. I didn't. I stayed in bed, and I've stayed in bed a long time past that. Now, that's unusual for me, but I did. Now, a blame game would be to blame I had poor sleep, there was noise, it was warm, I didn't feel that good, oh, I'm extra tired, I needed sleep. I could blame a bunch of things. Instead, I simply said to myself, okay, when my alarm went off, actually I woke up before the alarm, I almost always do, I made a choice to stay in bed and to sleep. The question that I ask myself is, okay, who was talking? Who else, who was actually, which me was speaking? Because, we have the inner child, and we have the wounded, person, and we have the adolescent, and we have the adult, and we have the fearful person, and all these different characters, right, that show up in our lives from time to time, and we give them power. And so I simply decided, when I had this conversation about myself, that I said, you know what, the lazy guy made that decision this morning. There was no particular reason I couldn't get up, and certainly enjoyed the extra sleep, and maybe I needed it and all that other stuff. But instead of blaming, I take responsibility. I stayed in bed, the lazy guy made the decision. I also then made a companion decision to absolutely enjoy, love, and maximize the rest of today. Instead of feeling bad. In the past, what I would have done is be behind the 8 ball all day. Oh, I can't, I'm behind, look what I didn't get done. And then create, additional inertia to overcome, to create anything positive for the day. So the The transformational point today is to take responsibility. Now let's get really specific. Take responsibility for your physical well-being. If you don't exercise, you should. You need to, within the capacity of whatever your circumstance is, but not to give your body the healthy exercise and movement and stretching that it needs is asking for trouble. I don't have time. That is the most untrue statement in the world. I can absolutely guarantee you that if I worked with you for an hour, we would find the time and you would admit and say, yes, I absolutely have time to do that. And it's that way with everything. I don't have time is the most lame excuse. And I'm going to do another one of these days on how to create time. But that's not this today. It's just the comment that I don't have time is untrue. It does a disservice to you and your growth, and it's really a barrier to lots of growth and progress. Stop blaming. So if you, within the limits of your physical situation, take a decision today to start the kind of exercise that you want, to give your body the stretching and health and exercise it needs, combined with a healthy diet. You could do that if one of your goals is energy or fitness or weight loss. Take responsibility for it. The responsibility doesn't lie outside of you. It lies with you. And the act of blaming disempowers you. All right, let's look at money. I don't have enough money, so I can't do this, that, and the other. And at this very moment in your bank account, you may not have sufficient cash to buy a particular thing. And so it may be a true statement. I don't have money to X. But you know what? You and I both know when we want something really bad, we figure out how to get it. We figure out how to find the money, jigger the finances, move things around, wait for other things. We figure out a way. So I can't afford it is a poison salve. What you're saying is I'm not willing to endure the disruption of my present comfort zone enough to create the cash to buy that thing or to invest in that opportunity. That is a tragedy because it prevents you from something you think you want, assuming it's a good thing, and it also prevents you from coming to grips with truth about your ability and responsibility. The list goes on, whether it's money or relationships, your relationship to God or a spouse or a child. Like taking that responsibility in you, not in a beating up way where I'm bad, but the simple question, what is one thing I can do to move that ball forward? What is just one thing I can do today? I am responsible. And I love the responsible if you write it response-able. You know, I'm able to respond. There's something I can do. So I would encourage you, I would invite you strongly to look at your life. Where are you blaming? Stop. Ask yourself instead, what can you do? We'll see you tomorrow. Thank you for watching the videos. Take this opportunity, leave a comment, subscribe most of all, and don't forget to spread the word about this channel.